Yeah. Let's start the show. What's up, people? I am that host, Stephen Hartmann, coming at to you on a Wednesday. Let me turn this shit down a little bit. Feeling good. I was going to mess with the green screen again, but truthfully, that shit got a little wonky. So I'm not going to mess with that right now. All right, let me X that out. Turn my damn camera on. How's it going, people? It's hot as hell today. Again, I got the air on and I'm still sweating like a bitch. But I have been doing shit all damn day, so got a little sunburnt today. But yeah, can't stand this warm shit. Supposedly, it's gonna start raining and shit here, so we'll see. I don't know why that got all high for some reason. But yeah, supposedly some monsoons are moving in. I saw that they're saying Phoenix is going to flood out and shit, kind of like what Texas did a couple years ago. So we'll see. They got a really good water management system there, though. I lived there for a couple years, so we'll see. I've seen a lot of rain come down there before, but supposedly this is going to be pretty bad. I don't know. Today is movie review day, and what's crazy is I just reviewed the first one, and I didn't realize they're going to just put all three of them out like week to week to week, like back to back weeks. Is the Fear Street movies, and I just watched that second one. I think it's can't remember 1976. Let me turn me off, and I'll pop that up there. Oh, 1978. That's right. It's the second part to the first one, of course. Duh. It's a trilogy, but this one's like a prequel, I guess. It's kind of showing you what happened to some of the people, 20 something years before. I guess it wasn't quite 20 years because it was 1994. But it was pretty interesting. It's like a camp thing, It reminds me of Jason a lot. The killer is this dude. He ends up getting like a bag on his head, and he's in the first one as well, but it's kind of creepy, but it really reminds me of Jason just because it has that whole burlap sack around his head. So that kind of cracked me up. I was like, damn, that is pretty much just Jason, but he's got an axe instead of a machete. But it was pretty good. What I like is they use the same actors from the first one, and I think they do it also in the third one, which, like I said, comes out next week. I think it's 1666 is the title, and it's basically when the witch lady gets, killed or whatever, which causes the curse, which makes Fear Street crazy, with a bunch of murderers and shit. But the second one was pretty good. Like I said, I really like all the actors that they use, so they're pretty entertaining. It's got a lot of laughs in it as well. So, like, there's this one scene where they're like stuck in the toilets and shit, and it's pretty gnarly. But like, super graphic, like real good murder scenes. Like they split dudes' heads open and shit. Like I was really surprised how graphic these movies were. So, like, pretty intense. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to this next one next week. So I'll be reviewing that as well. But check it out for sure. Like I said, if you got Netflix, both of them are available. They're like almost 2 hours. So I'm almost like you could have just did a 6-part series almost instead of just doing a trilogy. And then you could have just kept making more under the, series premise or whatever. But maybe they have a plan to do something like that because I really enjoyed it. I like the horror shit. So the more horror genre out there, the better. I like all that kind of shit. So been getting into like other Korean horror shit too. They got some pretty interesting stuff. One of the recent ones that I watched was like I think it was called Hashtag Alive. It's like their zombie type movie. And it's very interesting. I enjoyed it. But anyway, I got off track there. Like I said, check out that Fear Street, and then I believe the next one comes out like next Wednesday. So it's pretty cool. I really like that they did that. I was thinking that they were gonna like wait a year or some shit like that, but it's pretty cool that they're coming out that quick. So I definitely recommend that. Uh the other thing, man, like I'm pumped up to have something to watch on TV besides like, basketball's about to end. So Big Brother just started. So like I'm pumped about that. It's 3 days a week of something to watch. It's pretty entertaining. So I will probably be talking about that kind of shit. I'm gonna pop up the roster here real quick. It's got 16 people, of course, and the house looks pretty badass. It looks like they have some kind of, well, yeah, it is obviously some kind of gambling theme this year. Like they got the jokers, the aces, the kings, and the queens. They like did teams this year. That's the difference as well, which is kind of interesting. And I could see how it could, cause a little chaos as well. But like the one dude I liked right away, his name's Frenchie. He's like this, redneck looking guy. He won his thing right away and then won HOH. So that was kind of cool to see. But then he like kind of started going crazy there. Like they haven't even made it to the vote yet or anything. So it's going to be interesting to see if he keeps panicking and like, I don't know. He didn't seem like he was handling the power very well. He told all the girls right away, "I'm not putting any girls up this week. I'm going after big fish." And then like he got this fucking, well, he wanted to put this one guy up, Christian, and he ended up winning a thing that made him safe. So that blew up his plan. So he started getting paranoid thinking that Christian and this girl were hanging out having a showmance. So he was like, "All right, I'm going to go after the girl." So he puts up the girl and this other dude, I can't remember his name right now, but he tells the dude like, "Hey man, you're safe. I'm going after the big fish, which is this girl." And everybody's like, "What the fuck? Where did this come from?" And then like all the girls you could just see were pissed. Like, "Really, dude? You straight up told us all that no girls were going up on the block." So basically this dude is fucking his game up hardcore already because he lied to half the house. Like all those girls are going to be like, "Nah, fuck you, dude. We're not working with you anymore. Like you lied to us right away." So like I had high hopes for this dude, but I just don't see him even making it past next week maybe. Like when you do that kind of shit, you piss people off. So I could see the whole house just being like, "All right, let's get rid of Frenchie this next week." So dumb move, man. That's all I got to say about that. But tonight I think is the veto competition. Yeah, Wednesday. They usually do the veto, and then tomorrow is the live eviction. Since this is going on, I may end up doing whole shows about this. Like, as you could see, like I could talk about this shit. I love Big Brother a lot. That and Survivor. Like, I could talk about some Survivor game and all that shit. So I may end up doing like a Big Brother show. I don't know. Because I could definitely talk about how stupid people are, but it's a lot easier on the couch than in the actual house, which I did try to get on one time, but I don't think they liked my tape. But maybe I should try out again because I don't know. I would probably get my ass kicked on the athletic shit, but I could definitely work some game, man. But besides Frenchie, I don't know who I really like now. The Asian kid, I wish I could remember his name. He could be a threat because so far he seems likable and he's been kind of just, chilling. So he might be someone to look out for. And then, like, out of the girls, I don't know. You just never know. There was already somebody talking about making an all girl alliance. And when I hear that, that's bad news too. Like, that shit never works out. So I could see that girl just blowing up her game. So we'll see. Like I said, tonight is veto night. So it'd be interesting to see what goes on there. Like I said, they put up that girl, I think it was Alicia. And then there was this other dude they put up. I can't remember his damn name. I should write this shit down next time. Uh, so they'll be in the veto. If he's got to put up someone else, that's really gonna blow up his fucking game. So my prediction right now, Frenchie goes up on the block next week just because he's pissed off the whole house. So that's gonna be an easy like, dude, let's just put him up, dude. Like he lied to everybody. So let's see if I'm right next week. Frenchie's up on the block. And I wouldn't doubt if he goes home, unless, of course, he wins veto or one of the wild cards or whatever. There's a couple of new twists this year. There's some kind of like wild card thing that one person from each team gets to win. And then whoever wins, they have to spin a wheel, and then they can save up to 3 of the people on their team or just one. So that's pretty cool too. Like that makes a lot of decisions a little bit harder for people. Like the odds of getting your whole team, there's only 1 3 up on the whole wheel, and I think there's a whole bunch of 1s and 2s. So it'll be interesting to see. Uh, let me see here. There wasn't much news. Kick me off again real quick. Bam. This shit kind of made me laugh because this just reminds me of like things I've wanted to do plenty of times. I mean, I have like just straight up walked out of a job one time when I was working at Pizza Hut. But these guys at Burger King put up this sign, just all like, we all quit. But what is kind of weird is like, why did they put sorry for the inconvenience? Like, none of these people really give a shit. Why did you put that? Like, I'm guessing someone else put the sorry for the inconvenience. I almost would be like surprised they didn't say go fuck yourself or something. Cause I mean that would have been my idea. Like there'd have been no way I would have been like sorry for the inconvenience. But yeah, I probably wouldn't even do something like that. I like the only time I've like I said, I've walked out a few times on jobs just like right in the middle of a shift, but it's usually just been like, you know what, dude, I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. So I just leave. It's never been anything crazy. There's been plenty of times where we're all like, dude, we should just all leave right now in the middle of the shift. But like nobody ever leaves with you. It's like that scene where he's all like, who's coming with me? And no one goes with him. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny though. Fucking Burger King. There's story. I've talked about this a couple of times already, and apparently it just keeps on popping up. They have another school, one they call Canada's Alcatraz. I guess they're finding a shitload of bodies there as well. I don't get what's going on in Canada. Like, did they really just not care about these people? Or they're just letting hundreds of children get killed? Or whatever the hell is going on? Like, so far, I think it's like 400 something kids. That's a lot of fucking kids. Even if it's over 400 years, let's just say this school is killing one kid a year or whatever. It's still not okay. And it's obviously they're killing a lot more than just like one a year. Like it's pretty intense, man. Like what the fuck is going on? And why are we just now finding out about it? Like I said, I guess Canada just was sweeping the shit under the rug. They have weird stuff up in Canada. Like I remember this story of this dude who like decapitated this guy on a greyhound and started eating the guy, and they gave him 6 years in jail. Like, holy fuck, man. There's people who fucking get caught with some weed that do way more time than that. And this guy decapitated someone and was eating this person, and they let him out in 6 years. I understand Canada wants to like rehabilitate people, but like that kind of shit, I don't know if that like is rehabilitatable. Like, I'm pretty sure that person's fucking crazy and probably should never be back out on the streets. Like, I can't imagine there's any excuse. Oh, I mixed up my Tylenol and fucking meds or whatever, you know? Like, there's just no excuse good enough to be like, oh, we understand, man. 6 years. Like, the law shit is like super fucking weird up in Canada. Not that it's any better here. Our law shit, trust me, is horrible here. I'm not even gonna go into shit because I don't even know I can. But like the law shit here is fucking just as stupid. But at least we're not letting out people that cut someone's head off in public and like cannibalize that person back out onto the streets. I mean, at least I've never heard of us doing something like that. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I know for sure in Canada they let out murderers all the time. Like I think the most they usually give people who kill people, children, whatever, they give them like 10 years. And then they get a chance to get back out. And a lot of times they do because they're like, "All right, you did your time, man." And it's just like, "What? What the fuck? How does that work?" Like that's like a serial killer's dream. Like, all right, I'm just gonna go up here, I'm gonna take out as many people as possible, and when you guys catch me, I got a 10-year sentence. Okay. Like that seems insane to me. Like Canada needs to get their shit together a little bit. Sorry, just checking my time. I need to medicate for a second. So that was, I don't know, that was pretty much all the news I really saw. Most of it's like political shit and stuff I don't really want to talk about, COVID and all that. So, but it's just blowing me away. Like I said, I guess because I'm doing news, I'm seeing these stories, but what the fuck's going on with all these kids? That's all I got to say. It's going to be interesting to find out because it's different places. So, like, is this just a practice up in Canada? They're just like, all right, well, if fucking Tommy mouths off, give him 2 warnings. If not, we put him in the grave. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is making this shit okay? And it, like I said, and obviously practice at several schools because this is like the fourth one, I think. So, like, what the fuck? There's some weird shit going on up there. Like, I don't know. I don't want to go all fucking tinfoil hatty, so I'm gonna stop there. Uh, sorry. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go into some life stories today. It's gonna be mostly about my time in Phoenix when I went to middle school there. This is probably the worst time I was like, not like worst time for me because I had a lot of fun, but worst time as being a human being, I guess I would say, because I was a fucking douchebag asshole. Like I did so much bad shit when I lived there. It was ridiculous. Like 7th and 8th grade in Phoenix, for some reason I went from like kind of being a mean dude to like full on like bully, doing stupid shit, like just picking on people for no fucking reason, like a lot of stuff that is definitely frowned upon nowadays. And I have realized that I was a fucking douchebag for doing a lot of that shit. Like there was no need for me to be that way. But that's just how I was because I wasn't raised where I was basically raised by no one. So I didn't really get that, information. So I treated people like shit. But I did a lot of fucked up things in 7th and 8th grade to where I was pretty much constantly in school suspension. I don't know, maybe 1 to 2 days a week at least I was in there because my teachers were just like, dude, get the fuck out of our class. We're tired of your attitude. We're tired of you doing whatever you're doing. Like, I even like I'll start with like I messed with the security guards just because I could, and we would do like stupid little things to set them up to make them think we were doing stuff or whatever. Like example, I took a piece of chalk that was kind of like broken or whatever, and I painted in one end brown, and the other end had like the black part, and it looked like a already burnt cigarette, like half smoked cigarette. So I just had it in my ear, walking around the halls and shit, walking right by the security guard, knowing that she was gonna see it, and she sees it and she slaps it out of my ear. Like hits me pretty good too. Like she's like, "What the hell is that?" Slaps it out of my ear. It hits the ground. It crumbles into pieces and shit. And everybody's like, like what's going on? And I'm just like, it was just a piece of chalk and all this shit. She's like, you need to quit messing around and all this shit. Cause like I did smoke cigarettes on school property all the time. So she literally thought I just had a cigarette in my ear, but that was just like a minor one that I did. This one time I brought like a pretty decent sized baggie full of flour to school. And we were sitting at like the picnic tables out back, like kind of, I don't know, I guess it was kind of like towards the baseball fields or whatever. And we were acting like we were like chopping up lines. And we always know that she comes around this certain way all the time, to do her fucking walks or whatever. So we know she's coming. So we're all acting like we're doing this shit. And when she comes around, we look up and we go, oh no. And like I just rip the bag open and fucking make the shit go everywhere, and we all start booking it. And she fucking chases us down. And like, of course, I'm like the fat, slow guy. So she catches me anyway. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like cussing at us and shit. And I was like, what? It's just flour, man. Relax. And like, even though it was just flour, I'm pretty sure I got in school suspension for like a week for doing that just because of messing with her. Now, like those are kind of like the funny stories. There were other stories that are not so funny. We had a teacher, I can't remember her name, but she was pretty awful and she looked weird. She even kind of had a funky smell. And of course, as kids, we were pretty mean about all that. But like me and my buddy, I'm not going to really throw out names because I don't want people like, we like, hey, dude, I don't want people knowing I was in on this shit. But like, we would steal all of her shit out of her desks, like her daily plans, the like write up slips, the attendance slips, all that shit, her pens, pencils, all that stuff. We just take everything out of her desk. We would just like we would bend paper clips into like little darts, and use rubber bands and fling them at her while she was writing shit up on the chalkboard, like try to get them stuck in her hair and shit. And like just like awful stuff. Like I think we even might have put like tacks in her seat and stuff, and probably put like gooey shit in her desk. And I can't remember all the bad stuff we did, but we even like ripped out her panic button so she couldn't call the office. And like one time, like it was right after we did that, uh she was really pissed at us, and she's like, God damn it, like she goes to call the security and there's no button. She's like, who the hell did this? And like everyone's just like laughing at her, like the whole class is literally just laughing at this lady. And like she has like a mental breakdown and she storms off. Like she's like saying shit to herself, just walking out the door and leaves. And we're just all laughing and shit, not knowing what's going on. And I think the bell ends up happening and we just go to our next class. Well, I think it's like the next day we have an assembly and like everyone's there, and the principal gets up there and it says, what's her name is leaving us. She is going to retire. She is done teaching or whatever. And whoever had her in these classes will now be taught by this lady. And he doesn't really go into details of why this is going on, but he kind of like says it without saying it, like, you people who did this shit know why she left, and it's because of you, and you should feel bad. But we really didn't. We were just like, yeah, she's gone, you know. But now when I look back on it, I'm just like, that's fucked up, dude. We were major assholes for doing that shit. Like, we totally crushed this lady, made her fucking quit her job because we would just not stop fucking with her. And it's like, damn, man, just assholes. But like I said, that was the bad kind of shit that I did. I even got in trouble one time because me and my buddy, like I said, I'm not gonna say names, but me and my homie that we hung out most of the time, he knows who he is. Fucking, we kind of heard this dude was like kind of talking shit, and we started like looking for this guy, like we were gonna start a fight or whatever. And like everybody's seen that we were like going around the school looking for this guy. And like they all kind of started going with us. And like eventually we just kind of had like this little mob following us around. And the mistake we made was walking into the library. Because as soon as we walked into the librarian saw that there was all these kids together. She was all like, oh shit, something's going on. So we leave the library, and like literally not even like 20 seconds later, we hear over the intercom, Stephen Hartmann and you know, my buddy's name, come to the office. And we're just like, fuck. So we're just all like, all right, we know. We go to the office and there's cops in there already. And we're like, whoa, what's going on, dude? Like, why are the cops here? And they're all like, hey, what's going on? We're hearing that you guys are inciting a riot. And we're just like, wait, what? No, that's not what we're doing at all. And we see the other kid that we're looking for in the office as well. And we're like, oh, this motherfucker went and snitched on us or some shit. And they know that we were looking for him. And then when they saw the kids, they thought some crazy shit was going on, I guess. So they called the cops on us. It's pretty fucking crazy. But like we kind of thought we were going to jail that day, but they ended up just like, I think we ended up getting like real suspended there, like I think for a week or so. But that was another bad one. I would say the worst one out of everything that I ever did, it was at graduation. Like we pretty much were done with school. I wouldn't say it's at graduation, but we're done with eighth grade. So, you know, you're going in ninth grade. So we're going on like a trip, and it's to a water park. So what do? I'm like, all right, dude, I'm going to bring a pair of scissors so I can cut off the girls' tops. And I fucking bring this pair of scissors onto the bus. And apparently somebody like said something to somebody that, hey, he has a pair of scissors. He's going to do something or some shit. So they take me off the bus and they let everybody else leave. And they're like, hey, we don't know what you were planning on doing. Like, were you planning on hurting people and all this shit? And I was like, oh, no, not at all. You know, and I tried to tell what I was doing, and they were even more mad about that, which I totally get. Like, that's not okay. Do not do that. I do not condone cutting off women's tops at water parks. But as a fucking 13 or 14-year-old, whatever I was, that was my bright idea. And they were like, look, man, like, we don't even know if we want to let you stay here the rest of the week. So why don't you just stay home? You've graduated 8th grade. Don't come back the rest of the week. So basically, the last 3 days of school, I didn't go because I was stupid. So I definitely had a career of dumbness at Ingleside Middle School there in Phoenix. I had a lot of dumb shit that happened there. So I like I said, I've looked back on it and I've realized I definitely made a lot of dumb fucking mistakes. The problem was is I really didn't have anybody checking me a lot, you know. It was mostly like, oh, you did this, you're a fucking idiot, slap in the fucking head or whatever, you know. There was no actual parenting or, you know, checking in on type shit. So I did a lot of dumb shit and I realize it now. You know, I definitely wish I could take a lot of that shit back because I was definitely fucking dumb. But, you know, it also made me what I am today. It made me not such a fucking douchebag, you know. So he said, you live, you learn type shit. Um, I guess that's fucking it for the day. Let's see. Yeah, I was gonna do a song, but I don't have that shit pulled up. So I guess I'll do my plugs here. I want to thank you guys for listening. Hit that like button, subscribe, share this shit on Facebook. You know, I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm doing this podcast nation group on Facebook. I have like an interview lined up now. I think I'm going to get another one lined up here shortly. I don't know if I'm going to do that one on my podcast or hers, but we'll figure it out. I'll give you guys all the information next time. But yeah, stay tuned. I'm probably going to do a Big Brother one, man, cuz like I said, I could definitely talk about that for a while. So, uh it's on Wednesday, Thursday, and Sundays. So I may end up just doing episodes on those days. Who knows? I know there's probably already Big Brother podcasts, but fuck it. Why not one more, right? uh, and check out my niece's website, levitas.com. Buy a shirt. Check out my website, stephenhartmanpodcast.com. Just want to say happy birthday to Kelsey, my sister-in-law. It's her birthday today. And like I said, you guys will definitely see me on Monday, but I wouldn't doubt if you'll see me again sometime this week. So stay tuned. All right. We'll catch you next time.